In this lecture, we will go through a hands-on labs on Azure logs, trying to prevent accidental changes in the organization. Alright, so here is the plan for this lecture. I will go to virtual machines. And here I have two virtual machines that are in the running state. And I believe this is web server 01 and web server 02. So web server 01 in the overview page, I see that the status is running, good. And web server 02, let's see, it is also in the running state. So I will now go on web server 01. So under settings, if you just go down a little bit, you have here logs. So if I click on logs, now here is the screen that you have seen also in the theoretical lecture. So currently this resource has no logs. So I will add a log now. And the log type, first of all, let's say that we will choose delete. And the log name, let's provide a good name. So for example, I think a good one would be do not delete. No notes, just click OK. So I have the green tick here. So OK. And now I have the log name do not delete, log type delete, scope, so where it is actually applied. And I will now try to delete this specific virtual machine. And let's try if it works. So going to delete and yes. And immediately I received this information. So fail to delete the virtual machine. And it says here that the scope AZ900, so that's the resource group providers, that's the provider Microsoft.compute. Virtual machine web server 01 cannot perform delete operation because of the following scopes are locked. So indeed this lock it has been applied and it prevented us from deleting the web server 01 machine. So it says that please remove the lock and try again. Alright, so if I go back to logs and I will delete this one. Now I'll try to add another one, and this time the log type should be read-only, which means that I cannot modify it, I can only read it. So cannot modify it, and again the name, so do not edit, and OK. So now we have the do not edit log name, the log type is read-only. Now let's try to edit the machine. So for example, I go to size, and I want to change the VM size. So B1S, and let's try to go with this one, D2S version 3. So I'll click on resize, and it says that it failed to resize the virtual machine because of the allowed virtual machine SKUs. So remember, we have also applied here a policy. So let's go down a little bit under policies. We have nothing here. All right, here it is. So allow virtual machine SKU. So this is from the previous lab. And I have here delete assignment and delete. So now we have only require specific tag. Good. Let's go back to sizing. And let me just try again to change this one to D2SV3 and resize. So let's try and see, failed to resize virtual machine web server 01, good. And it says that allowed virtual machine SKU, so still require specified tag. This is the second one, and this is the subscription, good. So I'm back. I waited like a couple of minutes, 2 or 3, just hitting refresh, and let's try again. So going back and let's check again the configuration. So I have the log, the do not edit, so log type is read only. And in terms of policies, I have removed here the policy saying that I only have B1S VMs SKUs allowed. So okay, going back to overview, I just wanted to show before the test what is the current configuration. So let me just try again to go to sizing and change to D2S version 3, so resize. And now it says, so if I open notifications, that it failed to resize the virtual machine. And now the problem is that it requires a tag. So remember that we have also applied another policy. So let's remove this one as well. So policies, and let's try requires. So here we go. So let's go on the right and say delete assignment, and yes. So successfully deleted the assignment. And now we only have the lock. So the lock is do not edit, so read only, which means that I cannot modify it. So let's try again now. Final one, sizing and D2SV3 and resize. So actually I had to wait around 15 minutes in order for the policy definition to be deleted. So when you delete the policy definition, so actually the assignment, the change is not propagated immediately. So now I'll try again and go to size. So again, I am on web server 01 and I'm running a B1S virtual machine. Let me just try and change that to D2S version 3. So I will click on resize. And now it says fail to resize the virtual machine. So let me just close this and open notifications. It says fail to resize the virtual machine web server 01 to this specific size. And if you just go down, it says please remove the lock and try again. So that's the reason why I was not allowed. So yes, remember that when you apply different policies, so let me go to policies now. We have here, so let's try this. So policies and definitions. So very important. So I will not edit this and take out this part because it is important. So you have the allowed virtual machines, and the one that was causing problem was the tagging, and it was require specified tag. Now, although, so let me just go here in the assignments, although this policy was taken out of the resource group, so it was looking good in the portal, the change wasn't propagated immediately, and that was what was causing the problem. So going back now to home and virtual machines, what we did up to now is try to delete web server 01 and it was not permitted because of the locks. And now we also tried to edit it and it was not permitted again because we have here one lock applied, do not edit. So read-only lock type prevents us to modify the configuration of the resource itself and also to delete it. While if we apply the lock type of delete, so add and another lock type, if you apply the lock type delete, then we can modify it, but we cannot delete it. Thank you and see you in the next lecture.